Welcome back everybody to the Puddins.fab shop, and you know all the Mopar guys are crazy. They'll tell you Mopar or no car. Well, here at PFS we've got a new saying, and that saying is Loadstar or no car. That's right, baby. We're back on our Loadstar flatbed build, and I am excited. Now, if this is your first time joining us, I'd highly encourage you to watch the first one. In the first one, we built a very low profile hitch. We bobbed the booty and then supported it, built heavy duty hinges. And we built the inside structure of our flatbed because, oh yeah, it's not just a flatbed, it's a tilt flatbed. So it's a tilt bed that's flat, or it's a flatbed that tilts. First thing I just want to get right on, and what we're gonna hop straight into is I would love to get the perimeter frame of this thing tacked into place. Hey. Uh-oh, he's seen an animal. Theo! I don't know what that noise is, but it sounds like it got a hold of something. Who don't love a fresh breakfast, huh? Anyhow, I want to get the perimeter frame on this thing. Our perimeter frame is going to be 2x6. Now, I know what you're thinking. Hey, Puddin', that's all you got to do. Grab that 2x6, cut you 4 pieces, square it up, tack it. Well, I wish it was that easy. You see, for the flatbed that I've envisioned my whole life for this thing, in the 4 years I've had it, I've envisioned my whole life the corners being rounded. We've already been out here practicing because we're gonna do those trendy Instagram cuts where you round corners, and this was the one we did. Now this is 2x4 because I don't have any room for error on the 2x6, and I know she ain't quite 90, but if I pull on it with that, we can hit 90, and then of course we'd be able to tack it. Now, if you've ever seen these little viral trendy cuts that went around on the internet, they make it look really easy. There's only one difference, Slick. What is it?
They have paper metal.
Yeah, paper thin metal. We're using that thick stuff, so we use the whole little pattern that people use and the calculations, and we still had to cut more off, so we won't be lobbing that corner, but we've kind of figured it out, we think. Close enough, we're gonna hop in on some 2x6. All right, first thing we're gonna have to do is get a measurement. We wanna go out at least 1 inch past the tire. 103, I mean, clearance is clearance. Maybe 104. However, we've got to have enough material to wrap the corner as well. So, I know what you're thinking. Did you at least measure that before you did it? No, we did not.
Why would we?
We'll lay that on there and we'll wrap. And you can see that's 6 inches. 104, add a foot. So we're going 116. All right, our 2 cross pieces, guys. Pretty important they stay accurate because both of them matching is gonna set our width overall and determine whether we end up square or not. Woo! She's doing the old teeter-totter. Just a little support. Put the thing down, flip it and reverse it. Hey, there's a workable size, still heavy. Boom, 116 on the dot. All right, we said we're coming in 6 inches. You can trust me, I've done this twice and messed up the first time. Accurate. All right, the thing we seen said you put this. We're also getting rid of this.
Are we?
Are we?
We're not. That's
So,
what we're keeping that, because this is where it flanges over, right?
hold on. Put the bass backwards. So everything I just taught y'all, forget. That's the, I want to teach you the basics, and I want to teach you to double check so you don't mess up. If you caught that, congratulations, you passed the first test. Now let me show you how to actually lay this out. All right, we're gonna go again. We marked our 6 inches, squared or eyeballed that up, give that the mark out. Now we will bring this Over here, we will do the dog walk deluxe, put our mark. Once again, we'll go 7/16 past that. We will square that up. And this time we will actually be removing this type of material. And you can see when that's gone, that's gonna allow this to bend over that radius. And this piece should end up sitting to this, giving us a nice place to weld. Tricked you.
Trick us too.
Yeah, tricked everybody. You come to help us lay out these cuts or what?
Should we get a hand?
Yeah, we do need a hand.
You already add 3/8 too?
7/16.
Okay, yeah. So
Yep.
Okay, so we're good.
I hope. Makes a cool noise, don't it? My name's Puddin' and I like cool noises.
We can lay it sideways. You want to lay it sideways?
We've come too far.
Okay.
Woo! I mean, that's only a third of the battle, but we got a piece out there.
It appears to be in the right spot. So.
It looks like it could work. Now we just gotta get it to make an actual round corner, and then do the other end. Then we need the other one to match it exactly. The rest of this is downhill. That piece being gone helps you see her a little better what we're trying to accomplish here. Worry about that slag in there. That'll help with internal strength. Not the prettiest, but it'll help her weld. We may have to add heat. In May's a month. We're gonna have to add some heat.
It ain't moving very good.
If all else fails, heat her up. All right, we just had a whoop on her because she kind of started to crease real hard right there, like a hard 45. So we got to keep her going, but we need to move forward to that just a hair to get our radius we're after. It's taking some work, folks. That being 6 inches and thicker metal is kind of wanting to crease, but you can see we're hammering on it and kind of rounding that. We're kind of to the point right here where we're gonna have to heat her up and finish wrapping. How close are we to 90? Pretty far.
That's a good one.
How unfortunate. We're pretty close to wrapped. I'm not mad at that radius. Yeah, we're hammering on it. We can sand some of that out. It's looking like, guys, that 7/16 additional we took off is not going to be enough neither, because you can see with that rolled in there that we're not quite towards 90. Boop.
Yeah, heat it right there.
Oh, we're going to hit 90, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what we may be able to do? If she's wide mouthed enough, our material's kind of off a little bit. I'm kind of hoping we can jolt it and get it to stay closer. Oh, that's better. We're getting there. I just don't want to use the heat, because if we give her too much.
Hold on, let me give her some whole pile.
She's still a frog hair up. So let's take a frog hair out. Woohoo! Yes, sir. That's way more betters.
Now we're hair down now.
Huh?
Hair down now.
Hair down. I felt it give. Oh gosh. Well, it ain't twisted down. Now this whole piece needs to elevate up. I was looking side to side like this on it, and that's running good. Now we gotta pick this piece up.
Oh, it's because the bottom opened.
This is a lot of fun, guys. we are definitely hitting 90 easy enough that we could hold that there and tack that inside. I think roll-wise, we're good. Like kind of laying across like that. But the issue, well,
yeah, we can fix it.
Kinda. This whole piece almost needs to shove up. Like maybe we could tap on the bottom up. I ain't like slick. I gotta do the muffs. Go! Ow!
Can't win for losing.
Well, y'all don't want to watch us whoop and tweak on that thing that much. We've got it where we're reading closer than we have so far. I'd say hook towards the top. Will it stay? Give her a click or two. Am I even moving it?
Yeah.
Or just bending the hook?
No, it's going.
Woo!
She has some torque on her?
Yeah, she's getting there. One more?
Yeah.
You like it?
Yep.
All right. 90? Let's see now. See, that kind of holds it across there. That's pretty good. It ain't perfect, but guys,
The tubing's not perfect either.
the tubing ain't perfect. We weld that up. We kind of feather it out when we sand it out. It's going to be fine. I'm more worried about the roll. And you can see how that tubing's flared too, so we're worried about a roll on that.
We'll have to knock it back in.
So you can see we're touching down there and we're not touching up there, and that's more my concern. So I don't know if we can tack it up top and then we can hammer that bottom out,
I would
or
tack the bottom and then hammer this one in.
if we can, yeah, tack down there and then put a little weld at the bottom. You can also see why I said I don't mind the gap. That lets your weld have a nice place to get in there and burn in nice and deep like, boy. So now, uh-oh, he zoomed up again. Now we got to try to roll that sucker. And I just seen it give some. We just can't check it off that because there's a weld there now. We can still eyeball it.
Pretty close or no?
No. Feel like the second bounce I felt her give some. I don't know how I was feeling because it don't look like it rolled in any. I took that, gave her a few true power smacks right there, and she's way more 90 that away now. Way better. She ain't perfect, but no old farm truck is, especially when she's rusty and crusty. She's good enough that she'll weld out and blend. I think it's pretty close to right at a 1/16. Stuff right now is just in a way, guys, where if we do this, then it's throwing off this. So it's one of those things where you kind of split all the differences. And it just is what it is. Again, she'll look good when I blow your doors off going $120 down the interstate. Don't worry about it. Damn, that bed looked good. Whoa. So I got great news, folks. We officially have one tacked up. And with what we're doing and the importance of it, we're just gonna do tack welds. But I've got bad news, folks. That was one. We've got 3 more of these to go. Got the other end laid out here. I only had to change the layout once. Thankfully Slick was watching because I started to do it bass backwards once again. Well, that one went a lot better. We were just smoother. I kind of walked the torch more along. We just did slow, steady pressure, a little more with the crescent. And I feel like we radiused that. We did have smacker a couple times, but we didn't have to plumb fight it like the other. We made 90 good that away. We're tacking it at the top because we're checking if it rolled or not. The bottom is over, so we're gonna tack up top and hammer the bottom out. Fixed it. There we go, baby. I gotta check the time. Where'd that cellular device go? About 40 minutes on the second one. Hour and a half on the first one, kind of figuring stuff out. Let's measure inside to inside.
103.5.
103.5. So before we started, we measured that. I thought 103 may not be enough. I actually wanted 103.5. I thought 103.5 may be a pain to try to aim for. So we just did 104. So I don't know if this is relevant to the thickness of that or what. So each side we lost a 1/4 inch on, and I actually brought the inside in to 103.5, which is what I originally wanted. I just tell y'all that to factor in case someone does something similar to this. 3/16 or 1/4 inch. We moved in a 1/4 inch each side somehow. All right, you always gotta feed Slick, so we had a little lunch. And I figure y'all wanted to watch us struggle through the remaining 2.
Way less time, like 30
Yeah,
minutes.
we were pretty efficient on this one. I think if we had to do, say, 2 or just another 1 or 2, we'd have her pretty well figured out. I didn't mess up, and I started to lay it out wrong the first time, and I caught myself. And then on the last one, I didn't mess up at all. So, you know, do 4 cuts, and you'll finally figure out the process. Now the question is, how close do we get to matching? Perfection? Yeah. I mean, I kicked mine till it's pretty,
yeah, that's freaking
pretty close. Bang! Call us for all your radius bend needs. Man, that's better than I thought was going to end up with having to do that style of cut. I mean, as y'all can see, like that one, that's a pretty good gap. Some of it's kind of sloppy, but just stick with it. Trust.
That's the first one. Look how tight the second one is. Look at that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, the second one did tighten up quite a bit. We got her.
Which is weird because you cut those at half.
Shh, don't be giving away all the secrets now. Come on. Guys, we just kept checking each end. If it's square on the outside, set the square across the top. Some of them we had to split a difference or 2, like just a little hair. But all that should blend out really good. That right there makes me super happy. Pretty happy all that's, well, it ain't done, but I'm pretty happy all that's.
We're over the hump.
Yeah, past that anyhow. 28 1/4 to outside. So if you divide that by 2, it'd get 14 1/4. So to lay this out to make it easier for us to get up there and be able to center some of this up, we'll measure the overall width of this, which is 107.5. Now we need to find center, so we got to divide that by 2, which should give us 53 3/4. Slick mark that. I'm gonna check my math. Oh yeah, 53 3/4. And then from there, we can measure out our 14 1/4 each way. And now we know when we put those up in place, as long as we go aim towards those marks on the outside of our little frame there, that should center us up pretty close. Then of course we'll have to square up from there. All right, the back one's easier to get to, so we're gonna kind of learn our lessons back here. I know what you're thinking, hey Puddin', did you just throw a random one up there? Nope. This was the best looking one in my opinion, so we're doing it at the back because I'm gonna be blowing everyone's doors off, so they're definitely gonna see the booty of this thing. And as far as this one goes, I think that one's the worst looking corner, so I want it on the front passenger so I'd never have to see it.
All right, I'll point it out every time I get in.
Yeah. They'll be sure to point it out, and then when I'm a gentleman and open that door for my wife, then I'll have to see it. I'll put her in it, and then I slam the door. Boom!
Just mad that it's
All right, it's important we go flush with the top to the top. So now we're gonna have to cut something we can clamp on the top to then pick this up and hit that and clamp it. And we need something pretty strong. I don't have enough big C-clamps, buddy. That's gonna be getting too thick because you got 2.5 to 6. That's an 8.5 inch. We're gonna have to do something pretty low profile actually. I did go to the Harbor Freight and get more C-clamps. They were just out of the big ones. Only had a couple. I do have some of this real thick strap. Maybe we can just cut it in like 1 foot sections where we can C-clamp and C-clamp. I was wondering how it's so warm. Forgot it'd been sitting in the sun. This 1/2 inch thick strap, guys, I'm gonna rip us about 4 pieces of this. Like I'm working with wood, I'm gonna rip a sheet of wood. Little cold saw here, she'll rip it, buddy. Even though I only marked out 3. I probably marked out 4. The last one's still down there though.
You just missed it.
I forgot to cut it off with these ones.
Is that the mark or is that the mark?
Meh.
That was definitely the mark.
Hey, I cut it at a mark. I told you, don't give me a mark unless you want me to cut it. We established that at the beginning of the video.
We did.
So I did kind of think that out, not been able to get a ton of these big ones. I got some that I knew we could use a thicker plate and be able to get on our 4-inch. So our little strap there, we just clean that up, guys. Quick little cleanup. Boop! Now we got something to aim for. We'll be back in about a half an hour once we get these opened up far enough. Woo-hoo! Look at that, guys.
That's nice.
Damn, old Will Hop got a booty and a half on her. Golly. Mobile dance floor coming right up. I'm gonna haul hay and have a place to cut a rug when I get done. Dude. Whoo! Yes, sir. Big old slam flatbed Loadstar like I always dreamed of. So I know to y'all it may not look like that significant, but before we even got started, I told Slick, these having rounded corners to me, like if that was like that, just takes away from the look so much. That little rounded corner just helps. 39 and just a hair past a quarter. 39 and a half. We didn't math very good or something. So this whole thing needs to go over about an 1/8 inch. That's all that is. Woo! Woo-hoo! We'll take that.
Not that one.
It's about a 1/16, guys. A little play there. This one's spot on. So one side may be pushed in more than the other, meaning we could bump this straight back. In fact, it needs to come back. There we go. So that makes this square and happy. We got a little bit of a gap back here, but like we've told you, yeah, more than weldable. Nothing bad. 39 3/8. Welder out. I'm gonna say we locked this one down, and I do think we've got enough to do the front one as well. Slick just said she ain't gonna be drive-through friendly. Oh, we'll take her through the McD's. Just grinding the brick.
Just tear everything off the wall.
I ain't ever met a more resilient mill skill in my life than whatever they had put on this 2x6.
Dude, you ain't kidding me.
That 2x4 and that 2.5 cleaned up. This stuff, you hit it with a brand new roll lock, it don't give a damn.
He just laughs at it.
He's like, is that all you got? Yeah, it is.
Actually, that is.
I'm gonna crank my friend welder up and let his heat take care of the rest. We gotta drop her in. Yep. I'm gonna be hauling for like the concession stand, because up there at the Sam's Club, they'll put it on a pallet and saran wrap it. I'm gonna be like, I'll go get it.
I'll go get it.
You're gonna see Pete.
Just be way out of the way for you. So be like, I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna see M&Ms flying everywhere as I go down I-40. Alright, don't want to pull for too much, we gotta square her up. I'm curious what Slick gets. Please be 39 3/8. What you got?
9.5/16.
Oh, a 16th off, Slick. You shook your head. I thought we were gonna be a damn 1/2 inch. I'm like, what do you got? He's just like, that ain't it, a 16th. So we can tap it this way once a hair. That's it, guys. She's centered. All right, guys, we put our speed square up in those corners, squared them up, did some measuring. Everything's less than an 1/8 inch off, which really means it needs moved to 16th. I'm afraid if we start moving on stuff, it ain't actually gonna fully true up, because like I said, this stuff ain't just quite. Everything within that, you cannot see a 16th off, I promise you. Especially on old flatbed we're gonna beat on anyhow. In hindsight, as I look at this now and realize when I go to add the dump feature, that this is probably gonna have to cycle some, and before I even added these cross members, I was having a hard time picking that up. I definitely should have figured out the dump points and features before this big heavy frame got added, but we ain't going backwards now.
Now it's gonna be even heavier to lift up.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It should have been done
Earlier. Oh well.
But this to that is less than an 1/8 inch off on each side. Our squares, everything's good. I'm locking in, guys. We're locked in. We can unclamp these right now and do what I just said, but I've come too far. I'm gonna put that BRZ on here sideways. I dedicate this video to Jeff from Facebook, who says I need to do more fabbing and less gabbing. All right, we got 4 tacks on each one, and by tacks, I mean some fatties, miniature welds. This is such a perfect fit, guys. I can't even get it out from underneath it. Had to slide it underneath. Damn, what a hog. All right, before we get too carried away, we are gonna bevel our edges. That way when we butt up, our tubing did kind of flare some, even before we bent on it, kind of strange, so we may C-clamp on that. We're obviously just gonna have to do a little bevel. We'll measure across there, cut a piece of length, and then just whatever it takes to make it look good in there, she's gonna get. As far as our bevel, I'm actually not gonna just put a plumb massive one on there, but I am gonna bevel it some, and then we'll cut it where there's it's a little short on purpose, where there's just a gap there that I have to weld up. That way it burns all the way down in flush. We're gonna go a hair short, a 12 foot. We're gonna go 143 3/4, maybe 13/16. Yo, maybe 12. We are gonna end up with more leftover than I thought. Not that that's a lot. Like, we definitely didn't have room for error, but I thought we were gonna be down to like less than a foot for some reason. The only logical reason would be I can't do math, right? See that efficiency? We're like NASCAR. I hopped out, he comes in for the bevel. Woo, baby, that's teamwork.
Want to seam on the inside or outside?
Might as well do inside. We accidentally did that on the other side, or on the other pieces. Dang, we're good, guys. See? Was an accident, or did I do it subconsciously? Nobody knows. We know, it's definitely an accident. But it was a pretty cool accident. And as we went to carry this piece over, Slick just said, you want the seam on the outside or inside? Well, let's put it on the inside. Why not? And then I got to looking, look, seam on the inside or front piece. Seam is on the inside. Should have thought about that and done it on purpose.
I think you did. I think because when you were cutting them earlier, that's why I was like seam on the inside or outside, because you were cutting the way you were bending them.
That was total accident. I didn't pay attention to a single one I marked out.
That's why I thought you did that. Because
nice little gap, plenty to weld. We just got to kind of get her lined up. Oh, you heard I had a sexy flatbed and you want to come see it? Had to cut us some more of this thick plate, but you can see what we got going on now. Sandwich the bottoms, clamp the sides, lines it up beautiful. We'll let her cool off a little bit, and we'll have to knock out the other side. Check this out though, guys. Very cool part. I just realized, y'all know I've been very picky about this bed. It needed to stay low profile enough that we can dump, be able to make that work. It's got to be able to clear a fifth wheel. It's got to stay below, like up in here, right at this line. Can't be taller than that. But we want it to continue the appearance of being really low, even though we just got drop spindles. And back here we have nothing. And hopefully if we kind of come right in here, y'all can see how much that bed doing that, using that 6" where we're tucking a little tire back there. That's what I'm getting at. How much it helps us look low. I've seen a lot of these Loadstars where if people have lowered them and then they build a flat bed and it's just easy to clear everything by jacking it up in the air, and it just kills the look of it. This is adding to our look, guys. We're on stock suspension, and if you look back there, because we're tucking tire into our flatbed, it has just the overall appearance like the rest of the truck of just looking hammered, because it is. Very calculated way. A lot of math and brainstorming's gone into this bed to make sure we get it with everything it's doing right now. It couldn't be any taller, and it really don't need to be any lower. I mean, it's literally right where it has to be. Perfect. She's locked in. Damn, is this thing wide. How she look from up there in Michigan?
Pretty massive.
I'm gonna get all the stuff pulled off of it, guys, where I can kind of stand back and take her in. I'll be honest, it looks a little too wide to me, but what do? We've got roughly 1.5 inch of clearance over here. If we hug it in too much, I mean, you gotta have a place for the tire to be able to clear up into and everything. So, I don't know. Let me get her cleaned off here and we'll observe.
You got a few days.
A couple days worth of welding. Here's the thing, guys. If we step off to the side, of course, it's hard for y'all to see that post. From the side view, it looks perfectly fine. And if you're right up on that bed and you see how big it is, the square footage, it looks huge. But over here, you can see that tire's damn near pushed out to the outside, so it looks fine. It'd be one thing if that tire was sucked way up in there. AKA the same damn problem I've got with these front ones. Y'all see that? That's why we're gonna have to build extended control arms and shove that out. Back here, you ain't got no more shove out. She's about as far as you're gonna go with being able to change a tire. The wheels and tires is why this big old bed looks perfectly fine, because again, you get back here behind this thing and you start looking, and they push out, so it don't look crazy. If they were sucked in, it'd be one thing. But I mean, they're just as wide as that bed is. What makes it look big is when you can stand right here on it, and it just looks absolutely massive. Yeah, it does kind of make the cab look small like that, don't it? But that's one very specific spot you gotta stand where you can't see the proportions of everything else to see that it's really not that much bigger than what's going on with the rest of the build. Let's go up to damn Michigan where Slick was just at. Look at her. Golly. I will say like this, it don't look near as bad because you can get the wheels and tires into perspective again. You can also see the front fenders and how they're wider and everything, so.
Honestly, we're not used to building stuff this big.
It's just, you know, it's huge, but it is what it is. I mean, I don't think there's anything worth changing. I think it looks damn good. It'll just be nice as long as we can drive out that garage door. It's too wide. Nah, she'll fit. We ought to measure that outside to outside, and then our trailer fenders over there outside to outside. I'm just curious. Is she wider than a trailer? What you got?
100 inches.
100 inches? Oh yeah, we're wider than that.
101, honestly.
We're gonna be out.
Yeah, you're like huge.
107.5, I think is what I said. What, this little narrow bed officer, highway patrolman? Oh no, she's under 10 foot. We don't need a wide load. Yeah. Escort.
107.5.
107.5. I told y'all Pot County was plumb full of flatbeds. I'm about to make everybody so damn jealous. They're like, damn, that's the widest flatbed I've ever seen. I dump it, tilt it some. You like that?
Wait till you see this baby in the parade.
Whoo! You know how many kids can stand on the back of this and throw candy?
All of them.
All of them. Shoot, doggy.
What do you always say when you're good, you're good?
You're good. I think we've proven that this go around. Guys, I only got about 17 miles of welding to do and we'll have her wrapped up.
I'll see you next week.
Outside frame, yeah. Come back on next week's videos. I'm still welding. Be sure to like, subscribe, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
We got paper welding gas. So.
Welcome back, folks, to another episode of Redo Ricky. Here we go. Yeah, that's right. We got to backtrack some. Towards the end of the day yesterday, I had to go use the restroom. So out of curiosity, after all this work was done, I Googled, what's the legal limit? Turns out 102. If you recall, ours is 107 and a half. A mere, barely noticeable 5.5 over the legal limit. Put us a mark on there to help us find center. I did not know that. For some reason, I had in my head under 10 foot and you're fine. And that is not the case. Definitely something I should have Googled before I got everything tacked into place. But luckily for us, it is all just kind of tacked in out here. Not really down there. I committed on those. I did that after I knew, so don't worry. I just kind of welded up the center. Because if we're gonna narrow it, well, we're gonna do it out here, just adding another joint out here to weld up. And we are gonna narrow it, and I don't really wanna narrow it, but the thing is, there's a highway patrolman around here, and I told y'all this when we had the big booty box truck, and I made sure it was perfectly road legal, because he is like highway safety or something. Big rigs, box trucks, hot shots. He always has someone and he's putting them through their paces, making sure they're legal. And I'm not upset at the guy. He's just doing his job. But I guarantee you, I know where he sits. I texted Morsky yesterday and even he said, don't pass the tire shop, meaning don't go by there, because when he sees this big old wide bed, maybe once he don't get me, but 2-3 times he gets his eyeball on it. Whoop, whoop. Who knows what kind of fines comes with that type of stuff? I don't know. I don't want my stuff impounded. I don't know how serious it would or wouldn't be, but I don't want to find out the hard way. Now, also to end the day, I did some math and we can narrow this. We need 5.5 inches total. So that'll be 2 3/4 per side. So if we come up here and we go off the outside and we come over 2 3/4, you can see that's still gonna leave us maybe 3/4 of an inch or so from this outside to here, but that's not gonna work for this inside. So we're gonna have to cut a notch in the inside and on the bottom of this tubing. So when that sucks over, it can still clear this. Now I know yesterday some of my reasoning was thinking on being able to change a tire, and then I was like, we're building a tilt bed, you idiot. We can hug that as close as we need. If we ever have to change the tire, we can tilt the bed to get clearance. So I got us marked out here. So next up, we need to come back here, and I think we'll come over from the outside edge. We'll do our cut at 4 inches. It'd be real nice to cut right there, because we could basically use the seam on the inside and make that one big weld. But to be able to clamp this up, we need a little material. In fact, I'm gonna go 5 inches to give us a little more to be able to clamp to right here. So we'll give us a mark and then we'll go 1, 2, and 3/4 inch. Now I just gotta mark that all the way around. Up front, exact same thing. Now, that was my one fear. Did y'all see when I cut that, how it shifted? That's because we welded on that and it's trying to suck. Well, it's not trying. It is going to suck this in. In all honesty, I should have just left that tacked and not welded it. But you know me, overachiever. Here we are. That is another reason we want to do it out here is because this, though it may not have a lot, it is gonna have way more give out here versus trying to do it like way up there. Yeah, all right. When I cut the front one, it didn't move, so that's good. Up next, we got to trim out for our wheel well, which we are kind of just doing a eyeball, follow our shape here, 8 inches. So we'll mark right there in the middle at 4, which is really close to where I eyeballed center. All right, there we go. For the wood, we got to stay below 1.5 inches. It's going to end up giving us right at 4 inches of clearance, which I do believe is going to be enough. So now we just got to be able to mark that and mark it accurately on where to cut. We'll go right at 4 inches past the tire. We'll eyeball toward center, and I'm seeing 19.5-ish. We'll bump up to 20 inches, little eyeball. Cut us a piece of poster board here, put a mark at our 20 inches. I'm gonna pin that and hold it to the ground. We'll bring our poster board this way. Hold her with the foot, put a hole down here. I think this is gonna work. I just need a little bit longer piece of poster board now. Go up right at the 4 inch mark, eyeball it to center, try again. All right, I think we cut that off. Then we can take that over there and use it to figure out the rest. Ha-ha! We'll mark center and then get her even with the bottom. About right there is what I like. And we're cutting out this side, and we do have to square and cut the bottom, but we're gonna leave that rounded lip down there and probably like 1/4 inch of material. So it's still, there's more material there than having even just like a big piece of angle iron. It's still gonna be really strong, guys. Not as strong, but it's not like we're gonna pinpoint all the weight on this flatbed right on this. So it's gonna be fine, trust me. You can trust me. I've got us this far to pack tracking. I love a nice humid day where the glasses are just fogging. All right, she's tubbed. We're not done. I just want to see a little mock-up before we continue. Like I said, I didn't really see this one move, so we'll get it pretty straight. This was the one that moved. Yeah, she moved about maybe 1/4 inch or so. Well, that 2 3/4 really gives this slimmer up appearance, like she's on some Slim Fast. This is what I need to see. And yeah, that don't look good. It's so hard to eyeball stuff off a tire. It looked to me like we were gonna have a little more clearance than what we got. Right now, I would say she's probably got right at 5/16, about 5/16 before it would get into that. This ain't a whole lot. Not that I think this thing has very articulate suspension by any means. And to help with anti-roll, we can put our helper bags, instead of teeing them together, we can put them on their own separate air sources. That kind of acts as like a rear sway bar type thing. I mean, we really ain't got a lot of options, guys. I'm pretty well stopped right up at where that curve starts, because I don't want to start changing the appearance of the outside here. If we get past that curve and we start coming over here, we're going to end up with the little thing. Let me look. We may be able to take just a hair off of it. Made us a new tape line down. I was able to shave off a little over a 1/16 at least. It is a good looking cut down through there. Knock that sharp edge off with a roll lock, and then I'm gonna DA this and really smooth her up. doggy. Now, with that smooth up, I know what you're thinking. Hey, slapper on, let's get some progress going. Well, since we have it off there, I had an idea yesterday. I started thinking, where are we gonna be able to hook to, if we do put a car back there or we got something heavy, where can we put some straps? So about 7:45, I came back out here shirtless. And I don't know, I just threw that minor detail in there like it mattered. And I hole sawed an 1/8" hole on the bottom of this scrap 2x4. Well, and as y'all can see, the straps will fit in there quite nice. So I laid us some marks down here every 20 inches, basically. We're gonna end up with 8 holes on the bottom of this. That way we've got somewhere to strap to. Smoked all those holes, and then on that last one, spinning her a little too fast, got her too hot. I done roasted her and toasted her. Luckily I had one more. Well, I don't know if that's gonna be enough to get through the next drill. At least it got us finished up on this one. So last night as I brainstormed this idea, I did contemplate enclosing that with like some sheet metal, but with how that's gonna hug, it is gonna throw dirt and stuff in there, but now that we have drain holes, that will actually be the easiest part to be able to stick like the wand of the pressure washer in, be able to shoot that way, shoot this way, and obviously can go out that holes as drain holes, and we can clean that out from time to time. Plus, it's a little less work, so ain't nobody complaining about that. I shake her around, get her scrap out. Oh, dang it. Obviously, like all of our other stuff, I actually need to bevel on this son. Well, I beveled her. I got the front all clamped up. Here we go. Time to see if we push. Well, she's lining back up. What was interesting was it looked like this was pushing that away where I expected to see this go this way. Looks pretty good to me. We're still nice and flat down here. Boy, I think y'all can tell how much more we're gonna be hugging that tire now, huh? Look at that sucker. That's my face. That's what I was trying to show y'all. So here's what it looks like. It looks like we are right at 3/8 of an inch clearance. We're gonna try it because I think it's gonna clear. If we start having rubbing issues in the future, what will have to happen is we'll have to finish cutting kind of like this out, I guess. Just a little over here so we get clearance. But I don't want a notch in that. I like that it's flat. So then at that point, we would, well, I guess we could completely cut that out and then just put a piece of flat in there and fully lose that rounded corner. But that kind of goes back to if we're going to do that, we might as well do it now and not in the future. I mean, we're already going to be a half day behind. What's a full day behind, you know? Live a little. So the problem with taking that out to a completely flat point would be these corners will still round, so then we do a flat. We're going to have some little ugly nub, which I guess we can maybe smooth on. I just like how consistent that is. So I grabbed some scrap to look at our options here. What I did there was just cut a rough chunk out and put some 1/8 inch plate in there, mainly to see if we did fill that up with weld, how much can we smooth it out. This is kind of a speedball version, but from the side, that's what we would see. Now, obviously that would be a lot longer. It would start, run longer, and then go down. But doing that and cutting that curve off and putting flat in there, you can see we pick up quite a bit of clearance, because right now we're about where that cut line is. That's where we've got clearance up to. So that picks us up probably right at 1/4 inch or 5/16. From the side, we'll be able to see where it lays flat. So that keeps the bottom the exact same height. Our only other option would be to take that off, and to do that, I mean, we could do it where we kind of come up in a curve and then we ran flat with this and then dip back down, and it would put just a little baby notch on this so the bottom's not flat, but then we don't have a goofy flare out and the shape changing. We're gonna look at this in a couple ways. One, I'm gonna put this up here, and this may notch up too high. What I did was eyeball back from center, how far back we need to go, and then just line our center marks up, pick up on it till we hit the edge we need to make it to. And if it's square, then we'll be the same up here. And yeah, nope, that's a no-go. I can already tell you. That's gonna give the opposite effect of what we're trying to do. If make it look low, that's gonna make it look high. Shit. Yes! I made a decision. I pulled her back off, guys. From the bottom up, I've measured about 7/16. We need to cut on this lip. We're just gonna cut that rounded corner off. That gets rid of it completely. I will go in there and kind of round those corners where it ain't a sharp cut. Carbide those corners out, and then I gave her the smooth up treatment like we did earlier. And I bet y'all can't even see that, because from the side looking, looks like about 1/4 inch. But doing it that width that we did was definitely the right call. That looks just fine. And it is technically still tuck and tire. That right there is the right answer. Looks good. And now we've got about 3/4 of an inch of clearance, which is absolutely the max clearance, without cutting this off and adding some type of flare. And I do think this being narrowed up is gonna look better when we're right on it. And I think that's because our brain, if you're a car person around stuff, whether we realize it or not, basically everyone, come to find out, maxes everything out at the 102. I had some buddies measure their rollbacks. I measured my tire, the outside tire on the trailer, it's 102. Our eyes are gonna be accustomed to seeing that width, whether we realize it or not. So this bed becoming that width is gonna look more normal to us, even though we don't realize it. It's real deep if you think about it. You know the true width, right here. One with your heart, one with your mind. Make the width look just fine. Well, for our driver's side, guys, it's just a repeat. So I banged it out, took just under 2 hours, about 1:50. Now that we knew what we were doing, I've got her into place, and I will say it does look better being narrower, as far as like being right back here where I was kind of saying it looked too wide. Billy Boy approves, so that's good. I'll show him the best part, Bill. There we go. I know earlier some of y'all had to just be screaming at me how illegal it was gonna be. That's right. She's under 102 by 1/16, actually. So all you damn DOT prosecutors can hold your horses and calm your whistles, okay? I just know some of y'all were waiting for me to put it on the road and you're gonna be calling someone.
Hey, he said in that video it's 107.5, and it's only legal for 102. Go get him.
Get him.
Get him.
That guy don't need no encouragement.
Yeah, no, he's pretty active, ain't he?
He's only working chopping this down.
Now we're gonna put these new holes I added to use here, and because I told you I seen that move and that one move, she's not perfect or as good as it was in square, guys. I ain't gonna lie to you. But the thing is, if we come out here in the middle, where that material went was these bowing out. So we're gonna suck them in down through there, and hopefully it pushes something back. And it pushes something back that helps us, not hurts us. Yeah, it was more square before we started. All right, there we go. I'm gonna go down through here and add these because that pulled this in. Most of our bows back here, guys. On this side, right here, I can physically, like by eyeball, see it bowing. Howdy doody. Guys, if you've seen the video where we added cross runners, I got to do that again. The only problem is one's going to land right where our hinges are, so I'm going ahead and welding these up. I kind of wanted to cycle this thing before we full committed, but I just don't have commitment issues. And obviously, I'm not scared to backtrack neither. Love a good sweat, feels good. Runner, 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 runner. The old slice and dice may not cut as clean or pretty as the chop saw does, but being a one-man show right now, it's just a little easier to handle. Fit up is still really good. She's gonna tap down in there just perfect. Popped a couple runners in. Went ahead and burned in this corner since that's kind of stabilizing that. It'll also let me cycle my welder because she keeps, well, she's overheated once, so I'm trying to do it in a pattern. Now we need to be flush with the bottom of our 2x4, but our 2x6, we got to pick it up 2 inches. That's what that plate is right there. Welcome to puddins.fab.shop, where we fabricate. Measure something, cut a piece of metal, weld it on, repeat 1,000 times. You're now a fabricator. You're officially PFS certified. No gap too big, no gap too small, no position too bad. I'll weld them all. I'll do her laying on the ground or sitting upside down. I'll weld her any place, anywhere, because I just don't give a damn. All right, we're starting the cleanup phase. I'm going with a flap attack to knock down the big welds. I can see an area like right there. I'm gonna have to finish filling up where that edge had curved over. I'm gonna have to fill that up with some weld. And that's okay, guys. We're gonna use a roll lock for these edges. And to finish taking the weld off the top. So that's looking all right. I got this edge looking all right. A couple of areas I'm gonna have to fill up with some weld. Woo! Struck that thing with the old D8 till you can't feel your shoulder no more. That's what I'm doing. Well, you can see the marks where we had to whoop on her. If I'm being honest, I'm not too worried about them. Overall, where we butted her up and welded her or smoothed her out looks really good. I carried her curve through this corner, even radiused it some down in there. Looks nice. Smooth out the bottom too. She's not as pretty. Or a little bit of weld in here, I'm not worried about. We can leave all of that. Our wood's gonna go right there. That hurts nothing, no one will ever see it. Oh yeah, I forgot. Before I started doing any of this, I remembered I had a little stubby, and I knew this one had pulled back. That one did, so I put a long one over there, stubby one over here. And I'm hoping with adding these cross braces in back here, all that just helped lock that where it was. All right, it's about 6:30 in the evening, guys, and I've just been hooked up on this thing today. It's just a lot of work, so it's hard to, don't even look like we got that much done, but y'all seen what all we had to do, so we did get a lot done, and she's looking really good. I'll get the front side finished up first thing in the morning. I'm gonna get up nice and early and get out here. Hush it up in here. Good morning. All right. It's not the next morning. It's actually the morning after that. I know what you're thinking. Did you take the day off? Heck no. I got up nice and early and got out here yesterday morning. And, well, yesterday, guys, I spent another 6-7 hours finishing welding out corners, smoothing them up, cutting out the rest of our cross runners, putting them in there. And unfortunately, you already seen that. And like I said, kind of boring. So I didn't want to show it all. One of those things where we just had to get it done. Now the good news is it's dead. And the good news is this thing looks absolutely killer. I took our stands out and just have this kind of piece of scrap going across there, and it's bowing some, so our angle ain't perfect. But just so I could kind of step back and take it all in. I had one 2x6, so I just had it there where you can kind of see how that's gonna look nice and flush. And I do think we're nailing the look of this flatbed. Now, do not fear. If you're worried, well, what else are we gonna work on? Where's the rest of fabrication? Guys, plenty left to go. We still gotta build a stand that this sits on, not in this one. Headache rack, probably not in this one. Hitch, tail lights. Let me show you what I did do back here at the back. See, that's just some 1/4-inch plate, and I set that down back here. That way we've got something to secure to back here. Just because our spacing worked out different. Over here, we're gonna be just fine. That's the only thing that I added that y'all had not seen yet. So today, we are going to add something so we can put a winch at the front. That needs to be considered. My goal here is to finish getting it ready to put some decking on. So anything that could possibly need to recess in the floor, we cut our decking around, we want to consider for today. We want to be able to put a winch at the front, so when we do tilt this sucker and we can winch something up there if need be. And I think I had a genius idea. At first I was going to build a plate and just put a winch up there. But then when we do add a headache rack, we may need to sometimes like strap something up flush to the headache rack. If you've got a big old winch sitting right there, well, that's kind of inconvenient. Like, say we need to go pick up a new refrigerator because this one finally kicked the bucket. R.I.P. old girl, you've been a good one. So, I went to the Harbor Freight yesterday, met a super cool fan there. He was very nice. And went to get a winch. I also thought, why don't we get a receiver hitch? And up there in the middle, we're gonna add something like that right there. We do want it flush. And then we can build something that drops in there and pins, and it stays there 95% of the time. But on the other 5%, if we need to remove it, we can pull the pin, get it up out of there. If we want that to sit down flush, guys, we're gonna just grind off a little bit of that lip on the back side here. Now, if you're scared to grind on your hitch, that's okay. We could have took like this, anything about an 1/8 inch thick or so, and we could have welded it right there and then just left that in there or whatever. But there ain't nothing wrong with that. Little bevel. That way when she's flush over there, we're gonna weld that and smooth it out too. Be sure to do it where your pin can go in sideways. Don't be that away. And I chose to put the seam at the back just because if someone ever crawls up underneath there and they look, and I'm like, oh, that looks nice. He didn't weld that with the seam forward. The attention to details, superb is what they will say. Mark center up front. And I still have not found a good way to get the mill scale off the 2x6. The only way it'll ever come off is if it's been extremely hot from welding or the torch. But grinding wise, I don't have anything that even cleans that up good. Just fights me. Let me move that to my workbench over here. We are 2.5 wide. That lip on the front's a funky size. It's like 2 7/8. So I'm just gonna eyeball that. All them C clamps, and did I bring one? Nope. 49 7/8. 49 7/8. Perfectly centered, perfectly flush. Let's check her for 90. Better go off the bottom. Woo! The best part is, since y'all know this, you now will know that my winch is on a quick still feature. So if you ever see me out and about and you need to steal you a winch, you just know you can kind of shimmy up underneath here, pull the pin, pop up top, grab my winch and run. Just playing. Oh, I'm gonna put a locking pin on it. So I come out of the store, I come out of the gas station, I see you underneath there, your feet are dangling. I run over there, I grab your ankles, I pull you out of there. It is now not a good day for you, okay? Let me tell you, I don't think those welds are gonna break. I don't think that's going anywhere. But if we drop something in there and it's up here, then you start pulling that way, I know there's a pretty slim chance it'll want to rotate this, but you are using leverage up here, and these are here, so that's going to stop a lot of it. But with this being right here, we could put something in between that and really eliminate some of it wanting to wrap. Boom, 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 wrap. 1 3/8 will work. Better get that measurement right, because walking in and out of here ain't the funnest thing. A little bump of looby-dooby in the morning's all you need to get going. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo! Woo-hoo! Yeah. We ain't got enough of those left in us. Let's see what old P times vertical is, baby. 38 inches. I ain't mad at that. Hell, if I had stretched and had a cup of coffee, 42 inches easy. If I had a Sonic Ultimate Meat and Cheese Burrito with that sauce that blew my insides out, I probably hit 45 inches. That's smart. That's a little easier on me. Weld her in. Now you'll notice up top I ain't been doing any of them. That's so our boards can sit down flush because those welds push out good a bit. And we may take this thing off and weld the bottoms out on those, and we may not. But these are gonna be one long board that distributes all the way. It's gonna be plenty fine, guys. Like I said, we're not putting 10 ton on the back of this thing. A few thousand pounds at once, max. All right, receiver hitch installed. Let me show you something else I noticed. This thing obviously has been very stiff. We've got 1 ton chassis springs, and we've had no weight back here. Look what I noticed yesterday. Oh, guys, it feels like it's gonna ride pretty stinking good. And obviously we're gonna add a little more weight to it with the rest of the stuff we got, but I think she's gonna ride quite nice. I would like to figure out what we do for a door, and I could overthink this just a little more. In fact, I've been staring at it for 15 minutes and ain't made any type of decision, so we're just gonna make a decision to start doing something. First, you want to take one of your 4 tape measures and measure you out some measurements. That's what you use tape measures for. Maybe we'll add some plate, something like that, to start to bring stuff that away. Take a little out of them welds. Trying to slide her over this way as much as possible. All right, that looks pretty good. Got my magnet nice and covered in metal shavings. It makes a little bit of a mess, but it does get them off there without getting 1,000 splinters in your finger. Woo, that's a good fit right there. Like our receiver up there with that weld on top, I think we'll end up smoothing out all of these. So I put us a bevel there. There's a little bevel there from that rounding. We'll just tack her in for now though. Dang it, I got off. Hold on. The metal got out of place. Just making sure this was nice and flat back here. I had a really good fit up down through there, and now it gets big that way. So I need to cut that tack so we can give that a tap, tap, tap. Much better. Gorgeous fit. Little rinse and repeat. Oh, now we get the metal splinters in the fingers. There they are. Why don't I have gloves on? I don't know. I know better. Hot Rod, she likes digging the splinters out of my hand, so give her something to do later. All right, that does have us boxed in a little more. And it gives us options now with that lip being there to hang something down if we want to pin something. I thought about, we should have done this before. I should have welded another piece of 1/4 inch off of there, where then we could have just set something down in there and we could drill and tap and then taper, just put a tapered bolt in each corner. Because I'll be honest, it's not like we use a gooseneck. Y'all have only seen me use a gooseneck like once or twice.
Stop. Stop. No, you listen to me. All your life, people's talked down on you, okay? Nobody's believed in you. Nobody. And this is your chance, okay? This is your chance to prove them wrong right here. If you don't believe, who else is going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself? All right? So quit doubting yourself. You've got this. You've got this. Now get out there and make me proud. Come on, baby! Let's go! Come on, baby! Here we go, baby! Come on! Come on! You can do it, baby! You can do it! You can do it! I don't think I have a clutch anymore.
Yeah, so though it may not be convenient to have to pull 4 bolts and then pull a cover, it's just not going to be very often. Now, with that being said, I would like to add a gooseneck to the arsenal at some point, so we would use one more often if we had one. Either way, I should have added a lip where something could sit on there, because we could even just do like some little quick pins. Let me look at it with my good eye and see if I can't figure something out. All right, 2-inch strap, marker in the center, clamper. We'll weld all that on the bottom more when we get this picked up at some point. For now, we now have a border where a piece of 1/4 inch plate can sit down in. 12.5 inches across at 18 5/8. I got a fancy new square the other day at the Harbor Freight. Sometimes I'll do an overhang and just go over 2 inches so we don't have to deal with that little lip there. So we'll line that up. And we're going 18 5/8, but since we got that overhang, that's actually gonna be 20 5/8. We're going 12.5, but we're looking at 14.5. Now drawing her fairly square is the easy part. Cutting it out square, that's a different story. Yeah! Well, that takes a minute, but the good news is she is ready to just roll off the edges. We'll smooth them up just a hair. The cleanup will be super fast. Pop down in my little hidey hole here. The tack was in that corner a little bit. Let's see how we did. Oh, we're close. We are very close. Oh, something ain't square. That's good. I'll show that to all my friends. Oh, now I messed up. Shouldn't have done that, because now we're gonna have to pry it up out of there. So she does fit. That's nice and straight, but if we look up here, we got gap, 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 and then it starts to touch over here. I think this piece is crooked. Either way, what we're gonna do is give us a mark right there, and it needs to come over and connect about right there. This is forward, and sidewise, and a little more of a gap on this side. So I think if we
take off of that. Oh, this is upside down because my blade skipped. All right, we gotta flip it and then do that, and we'll kind of just set a little even gap around there. Well, she actually fits better like that, flipped over. Good. There's a fit we're looking for. She's flush, she fits beautiful. Now we just need a way to retain that. And I think we're just gonna remove the whole thing instead of making it flip up and it kind of sits there or rests there, or then you bounces when you drive and crap. But Puddin', just make it hinge now. Oh, what are you gonna do with it when you take it off there? I'll put it in the floorboard if I have to. If we end up with toolboxes underneath the bed, I'll slap her in a toolbox. What if a frog had a glass ass? He wouldn't hop, would he? Here's our 1/4 inch plate that this is sitting on. Just pretend with me. So what if we put a plate on the bottom side of this, something welded, and we put some type of pin, spring-loaded pin or something. Which way would that be sprung? One way or another. Some type of pin that goes underneath the lip that this sits on. Then we have a hole right here. Not that big, but you put your finger in there and you just pull over. That pulls our pin over, and then you pick it up out of there. One side would need to be spring-loaded. The other side can just be a pin that kind of slides underneath there, because once we pick this up, we could scoot it over and pull it up out of there. Maybe. I got like a summertime runny nose going here. I don't know what the deal is. Hey Ma, Puddin's got the boogies. Type of boogie. I meant the one that came out of my nose. All right, let's see if we've got some material that we could build pins with. Let's see, 5/16. Right there, we do got springs. Oh, there's a little bit bigger one in there. Looks like these would work with 1/4 inch material probably. I think this is gonna be a little too big. Yep, none of those springs are gonna work. And I guess 1/4 inch would be fine, but I don't have 1/4 inch. Nope. I guess we could use these. Now, y'all know I'm making this up as I go. So here's our plate. It sits flush with the top over there, and it sits on a lip. That's what this is imitating. So we need a pin that slides right above that, a 1/4 inch. Well, since I ain't got springs that can go around the outside, it got me thinking, what do I have that we could use as like a tube to guide? Then I've got my breaker bar that I broke. So I've got my breaker bar. It may be what we need to slide inside of that tubing right there. I don't know what kind of material that was, but that saw blade did not enjoy that. I may have just smoked her blade. Oh, that's a pretty good fit though. I'm just saying. So now if we had some 1/4 inch there, and that was there, the difference would just be the thickness of that tube, which ain't very much. Or, I don't have a lot, maybe I can find a piece of 3/16, and that would set us pretty stinking close to flush. 2 pieces of our tubing at 1.5 inches. Cut our handle to length. This time I used a cutoff wheel. I guess the good thing about the stainless is if we get this to work, we don't ever have to worry about this rusting in there. I rounded the end over there, and I'm gonna just polish her up a little more. Woo, I just missed my beautiful wife. Tell your wife today she's beautiful. She brought me a drink, and this thing is hitting the spot. And our pieces of tubing, I took our little file, took off that inside edge, or those slide nice. And I looked around in my scrap cabinet, and look, a little piece of 3/16. It's a little smaller. With any luck, whew, that right there is gonna fit beautiful. Get her jigged up. Getting jiggy with it.
Curious how much of the gap I put in there? About 1 guess worth. Slow turning, lots of pressure. Let's drill her out. I actually drilled another hole and only barely hit the other one. Dang it! If only someone had a drill press. I'm making this up as I go. After I drilled that first hole, I was looking what I had I could put through there. And I realized I had these little kind of hairpin, whatever you want to call those. What's nice about that is they can sit on that flat side like that. That'll give us a place to hook to. And if we ever got to take this thing apart, we can pull those and be able to get this apart instead of like sitting something on there and welding it. Just tacking everything up. The good thing is if that's too far over, we could come take that away some, drill a new hole up there and be able to move that. So doing it this way, we're gonna have some adjustability. We can pull those pins, hook our springs on there, and then we just need something right down in here to be able to hook our other springs on, or the other end on. Actually, we're gonna try running dual longer springs. Thinking maybe we can hook them up there. That feels good, guys. That's the ticket. We may need to put a pin up here, so that can only go so far back. Something like that right there is gonna work though. A piece of scrap I'd already started to cut. That's meant to be. Nailed it. Our pin is having to move about 7/8 of an inch to clear that lip. That'll mean that this ends up all the way over here. That's center. So we may take some off of this down here instead of re-drilling it. We can come down here and cut off some. Decent sized washer right there.
Hey guys, if you're not very smart and can't go very far in school, one day maybe you can be a fabricator like Puddin'. Yay! Oh, no one likes me.
After we just acted like that was a human head and body and arms, I can't unsee this. What are you doing now? Whoa, whoa, censored. What's he holding on, huh? All right, well that back in there from the top now. We got a hole. You can reach down in there and pull it over. Now for this side, we just need a couple little nubs that can catch the lip. Nothing special. Here's attempt number 1. We may have to pry up on those a hair, or it may work perfect. All right, we'll sit down there. Yeah, I might have to bend up on them just a little bit because that won't even slide on there, which is expected. That is the exact size. She's close. We are gonna have to flip our ball down. Probably a little too hard on that one. Boom. So I pretty much just need to weld those where the tacks won't break, and then we can tune that in. But check that out. She dropped into place. You wanna take it out? Boop. Picks up, slides over, comes on out. I welded her out and tuned her in. She's good to go, boys. All right. Let's get some premium decking on this rig, huh? As you can see, I'm putting some cross boards underneath here. I mean, we don't want this unsafe or something. Now, I only like ladders that actually match the truck, okay? Ain't gonna be near high enough. When I was getting that winch at the Harbor Freight, I got us some other goodies. We need to get this hoist hooked up to that rafter. We need to dump this bed. In fact, we should have dumped it a long time ago before we did everything we've done so far. But we'll dump her now. Hopefully she'll work. If not, I'll just go cry for the day. Rest of the day. Don't do what I do. I'm a trained professional. It's pretty solid, guys. See, that's it. Easy peasy. Can't really push on that hard. My dog walked her over until she's pretty well centered on that support, because that's what we're about to hook to. This is actually how I plan on dumping every time I need to use it. I'm gonna haul an A-frame, then I'll unload the A-frame, set up the hoist, and I'll get out and dump. That's past drip rail. I mean, that's a pretty good dump right there. You can trust me, I know a good dump when I see one or feel one. I mean, I didn't expect no issues. We had already cycled this and we just built off of that, but it does make me feel better getting to actually see this girl in some action here. For right now, we're calling that a huge success. Well, I set her back down for safety, and I gotta run, and we're gonna get some material for the decking. I'm actually gonna go see the folks who had purchased my trailer off of, because this wood has held up pretty stinking good, a lot better than any of the lumber yards around here. And he told me he has some in stock if I just want to come purchase it off him. All right, we are loaded down, baby. I only got 7 foot hanging out past the tailgate. That's fine, ain't it? Pretty sure it's fine. I got red flags on it and it's strapped really good. It's fine. We're down here in Asher, Oklahoma. I was at Holt Trailer there, who I bought my trailer from, and I've been really happy with that trailer. And they sell parts, guys. This ain't a sponsorship. They didn't, hey, we'll do this if you do that. I'm just letting you know. But I may have done a little shopping while we were in there. Yeah, she hold fine. Now the math. We may rip some, we may rip none. I don't know. We gotta rip at least one. I mean the board, not a fart. Got our safety rags. How professional. And you can trust old Husky, and if you can't, just put 2 of them up there. You can trust me, clearly professional. All these are too long, and I'm not gonna cut them in here and make a big old mess. Woo! Oh. Ain't stupid if it works. Old Stubby saves the day again. I may not know our width yet, but lengthwise, they all got to be cut down some. Well, that sun's hotter than a 2-pecker tom kitty, so I'm trying to stay out of it. Go, baby, go! Some of this is, I think, was sitting down on the ground. I can just tell cutting it that it's better wood than what I usually get. Fairly straight too. These ones had pretty obvious curves in them, so I set them here because we got to cut these shorter, so we'd rather cut down the ones that are curved. These ones have pretty good gap. I think we just need to kind of pressure wash this stuff and get her cleaned up. Of course, this stuff is going to shrink some and dry up some. I don't think we're going to lock it down. I don't know. I still ain't figured her out yet, folks. Remember, folks, if you learned a professional woodworking technique, it was probably on the Puddins.fab.shop YouTube channel. There's definitely not a better way to do this. mean, at the end of the day, did it work or not? Now I'm taking some of our crooked ends and cutting it for our shorter piece here. And we did a rip on that one. Instead of doing 3 the same size and then 1 its own size, we're gonna rip 2 in here and offset. That way it's full, small, small, full. Ripped another one. These may be too tight. They don't really allow a lot of room for gappage. I got one rip for over there. And just about got this other one ripped, and I think my saw's too hot. I gotta let her calm down. So as that happens, let's look at this. Now, I used to have tubing that would fit inside this, but I don't anymore. So I just got us a receiver hitch, whatever. So I just got us one of these. That won't get annoying at all. We can put a little shim in there to take that slack out. Mark that so we know exactly where flush is. For the winch here, we're gonna go 1/4 inch plate, and then you add the thickness of the head of that bolt and our hardware. That's a 1/2 inch, add 3/16. We need to go 11/16 past where flush was. For our plate, we're going pretty simple stuff. Our bolt pattern is 10 inches apart, 4.5 apart. This is 1/4 inch thick, 8 inch wide. We'll cut her to 1 foot long. So we're coming in 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch from the back. Come forward 1.5 inches and trace her out. Kill! So far we're looking good. I think you can see what we kind of got going now. Our little roller, we got a mount with those 2 holes, and that's what this 2 inch wide 1/4 inch is for. We're gonna do like that right there. And I got pretty lucky, and this is a 12 inches wide like our plate. I never even checked that. Yep. When we built the body mounts, we cut these off of there, and I said, keep those. They make a nice little gusset. Little did we know they were going to be the gussets for our winch plate. That's why they call me Recycle Ricky. Hot Rod's over there. My girls come check on me because I get in this shop, put my phone on silent, and I won't look at it till the next day. Yo! Ho-ho-ho! Pretty little fireworks show. Weld that all up. We'll slide that through where she welds flush. And you let her cool off. Now, speaking of cool down, that was plenty of time for the saw, so I finished ripping this. Now we're gonna notch for where the hitch is. For that, I've got my other precise woodworking tool with a metal blade. It looks like thick metal to me. I mean, precision is precision, dang it. We're about to call our evening, folks. Oh, because I'm starting to do the opposite of precision. We're getting sloppy, and I don't like it. Our gap's too big in there, but they're too tight over here, so really these need notch more so they can go that way and this way a little more. It's okay, though. That kind of gives us an idea. I still got to find a way to rip those long ones. This little light plane, oh, she don't hardly weigh nothing. If her mouth was closed, that pin should go in pretty easy. It looks crooked, and I don't like that. Not that it overly matters, but it kind of does. On the bright side, look how close that is. Went right in. Oh yeah, she pushed right in. That tube, I didn't check to see if it was square with the plate before I welded it in there. So I guarantee you she's in there a little cockeyed. See what I mean? Getting sloppy, folks. Getting sloppy. Poor saw's just begging for mercy. I put it in the fridge to cool down, but the fridge broke too. This heat's taking out everything besides me. Oh no, I hope do not break it. Well, I love it when 2 cuts that should take a minute a piece take about 20 minutes a piece. Yes, yes, I did it. I did it. I did it. Woohoo! Woo! All right, guys. Fast forward a good few days here through the weekend into next week, and I about started the next main channel video without closing out this one. It's been a very crazy week for me, and we addressed more of that in the second channel. Now, speaking of the second channel, yesterday I'd come out here and I did weld this up and smooth these out. And I kind of went over some welding tips and tricks. I always have people ask for that. So I went into detail on it a little bit. So be looking for that on the second channel this upcoming week if you want to know some of those answers to the secrets. I did mess up on the winch. It was sitting down in there crooked. I was in such a hurry at the end of this that sure enough, did I square it up? Oh no. She was cockeyed, so the winch was cockeyed. I cut that apart and re-welded it. Now she's sitting on there nice and straight. So, thank y'all so much for being here at the Puddins Fab Shop. We've been putting the fab back in it, so I hope you're enjoying it. I know it kind of gets repetitive, but it is what it is, and it has to be done. This thing is looking absolutely amazing, and let me close out with showing you this. See that? Yeah, that's what I'm showing you. She's gonna be a smooth ride in that long wheelbase. Now that we've got some weight on there, guys, that thing's I think we're gonna be good. So I'm very excited to drive this thing and it feel like a damn Cadillac going down the road. But it's just a slammed old farm truck, baby. You can't beat it. I'm on the Instagrammer, I'm on the Facebook. I've been posting on them a lot more, so go check me out there, especially on the stories. I've been trying to give you some behind the scenes and pictures and stuff like that. We're on the Patreon, blah, blah, blah. Much other than that, guys, do not forget, sitting on your ass will not finish your project. I'm gonna start back on our project.